All right. Well, hello there, good people. Hi, I'm Jason with Green Country Agroforestry. If you're watching on the replay, of course, this is Wednesday evening, 7:30 p.m. I'm experimenting with the time just a little bit on the live streams because I've been noticing that if I go all the way from 8 to 9, it starts to get really dark out there where the camera is, and then everything goes to black and white. So hopefully we keep our color picture going on here, at least until I can get some good lights to light up the filming area with here if we're going to use the front porch. Uh, let's see. Sassafras Red's on. Hello, Sassafras Red. Hello, Freehandly Maid. I got a couple people on today. Let's see. We have a, oh, we're in the middle of commercials, aren't we? I should probably wait a moment. Oh, what I should do and what I do, that's two entirely different things. I want to check something out real quick here. We're supposed to have a special guest. No, not a person. Let's see. Can we get Nightbot to show up? That's the question. Okay, I put it in StreamYard. Let me try it here. Actually, let me double check and make sure I've got the right commands. I'm going to attempt to use the Nightbot AI here. All right, and if it is working, I should be able to put exclamation point Nightbot into chat and get a response. I'm not seeing a response. All right. So what does that mean? I need to go back to the dashboard. Okay. And then all right. I think this is right. As far as I can tell, Nightbot is supposed to be on. How's everybody doing out there tonight? Okay. All right. Let's see here. All right. Nightbot is supposed to have some commands. Let's see if any of these work. Hello from Alberta. Hi there, Suzanne Stack. Let me see. All right. Apparently Nightbot is not with us today. Well, that's just disappointing. I'm gonna have to do some more. Study to figure out how to use that AI properly. Well, the hope was we would have Nightbot join us, and I spent a little bit of time programming commands in a Nightbot so that you could put in definition terms, query question mark, in this case, exclamation point. I'll probably change it to question mark. So if you want to know what an acre is, you can hit the, oh, there we go. Okay, it's doing that. Okay, Nightbot is here. It's just not performing the way I expect it to. Okay. All right, let's see if Nightbot is working. Really? All right. I guess we need to work on Nightbot a little bit more. It's in the chat, but not really working properly. All right. I see we got 3 people on. Wow. Busy night, huh? All right. So we've got Susanna Stack from Alberta. We've got Sassafras Red from Illinois. Freehandly Made from Montana. I guess 3 people. You're cooking breakfast for dinner. Oh, my goodness. Well, I had hoped that we would have some contributions from Nightbot tonight, but apparently I need to do some more tweaking on his commands. He's supposed to come on and do the usual, hit the thumbs up, and pancakes and bacon sounds good. Gail Southern Living is out of town tonight. Yeah, he's supposed to come on and tell people to go check out the web store and subscribe to the channel and hit the like button and do all that fun stuff, but apparently he is not working properly. Oh, give me some time. I'll figure out how to get him to work right. So, tonight's question: How big is your garden? And of course, feel free to put that in chat. Ooh, we've got a dove that just came in. It's one of those ringneck doves. I don't know exactly what variety. There's Reese Vargas. Is it Reris? Reris That's a different sort of name. Reris Vargas. Let's see. First green salad from the garden. Lettuce, sorrel, and sweet basil. That's cool. It's a Crying Shame says hello to all of the cool kids in the room. All righty. Today it is 94 degrees with the heat advisory, and yeah, I'm just steaming out here. But I'm probably better off being outside than inside, because if I can't run the air conditioner, and I can't because it would, be picked up by the microphone, and that wouldn't be very, very nice for you guys. Just gonna make do out here, and hopefully not get broiled. All right, so Freehandly Made says, don't know exactly how big. You have 3 in total, but not all are being used. All right, let's see. Out front here, I have maybe 1,500 to 2,000 square feet, but it's not all planted. So I've got 3 blueberry bushes there, Elaeagnus multiflora, hazelnut, pear, pecan, a whole bunch of cayenne peppers, kiwi growing up there, spread of peanuts. Oh, there's Sancho pepper and Szechuan pepper trees there. All across the front, we've got some flowers. Some of them are annual, some of them are perennial. All of them are edible. Asparagus rows, 2 rows of asparagus there. Buckwheat and alfalfa over yonder. Some more daylilies, onions, goji berries, sage, peppermint across the front, lavender on the side. So, okay. Nightbot apparently doesn't know what he's supposed to do there. He's supposed to be receiving comments, and Alias is supposed to trigger him to say something. Hello, Jandera, or Garwin. All right, so I've got to work on this alias commands for Nightbot. He's trying to trigger himself to say things, and it's not working properly. All right. So let's look this. Why are commands not working? Okay. It's Crying Shame is saying 360 square feet. All right. Let's try here. All right. Suzanne says, taking into account house, garage, and driveway, probably garden on 1,000 square feet. All right. So let me see. That was about 2,000 square feet. The spot here south of the driveway where we have 6 foot wide, 80 foot long, various medicinal perennials up front, then pear tree, blueberry, hazelnut. Do I have blueberry there? Hang on, I can't remember if I have a blueberry there. Yeah, blueberry there, pecan tree, blueberry willow, blueberry, hazelnut, blueberry, and then let's see, oak tree back over there. That one is, I think, 432 square feet, right? Because 80 feet by 6 feet. It's 480 square feet. Sorry. And then all the way out in the back, we've got about 3,000 square feet for annual garden, but it's not all planted up. And of course, we measure things differently, right? This was one of the questions that came up during the Shed Wars competition last year. I'm just so disappointed with Nightbot not doing what he's supposed to, but oh well. First time trying to use it. Last year we were talking about how we're supposed to make things fair and equitable for the people who are involved in the Shed Wars competition, because some people are planting in their backyard. Some people are growing, like say Tony Walsh has got an entire farm. He's loading up semi-truckloads of peanuts off of this farm. And then some people are just growing on patios. Eventually it settled down to how much food did you produce that you were going to consume yourself, which I guess is about as close to fair as we're going to be able to get it. But of course, even with small backyard gardens, there are some people like Scott Head to do seasonal rotation, intensive farming or intensive gardening in raised beds, and they can pull out a lot of food in a short amount of time in a short amount of space, small amount of space. So it all varies depending upon application. Katie says about a quarter acre that you concentrate on gardening. Yep. And it's hard to tend a quarter acre. Altogether, the property here, these two lots amount to about a third of an acre, but we've got the 2 houses, the garage, a couple of outbuildings and stuff like that. I would consider all of it to be the area that I am personally responsible for. Remember last week, personal responsibility, you got to have it. So I am personally responsible for managing this particular plot of land, which a plot of land that's managed intended, perhaps intentionally controlled for the production of food, vegetables, flowers, etc. That could be considered a garden. Now, Free Hanlon makes a good point here. It's a team effort, so we're gonna have team members that take on a lot of responsibility. Team members that are responsible for smaller amounts of the garden to take care of. And of course, that's one of the things I wanted to talk to is about a community garden. And you've seen community gardens. I know you have these areas where different people from all over town or all over an area can come together. It's one plot of land, but many people work on growing and gardening in that one plot of land. And I suggest, this is my suggestion, that although the portion of land that I'm personally responsible for tending, the portion of the garden that I'm personally responsible for tending is only a third of an acre. My actual garden is more along the lines of 196 million square miles. Obviously, I can't tend all of that myself, but it's a community garden. And of course, all of you are also tending the community garden with me. How to Garden says, hey, Jason. You did. Okay. So we have a community garden here. I wrote down some facts and figures. 196 million square miles surface area altogether. That's planet Earth, by the way. About 140 million of it, 139 million, give or take, is water. So we have lots of water features. But that still leaves around 57 million. There's 14 million miles of it that's mountainous, kind of hard to plant and grow stuff in the mountains, but you can do it. It just takes a little bit of extra effort. 19 million, give or take, miles of desert, which fluctuates. We're not really doing really good on that. I think our desert should be only half of our mountainous area. Whatever happens to be in the immediate shadow of the mountains might suffer a little bit on one side or the other, but we've got entirely too much desert in our garden at the moment. We need some, but 19 million square miles is a bit much. We need to work on reducing that a little bit. All right, and then beyond that, we've got 24 million square miles, which are in forests, pasture land, and arable land. Arable land, for the people that don't know, that's the land that can be readily put to the plow and have annual crops planted into it. 24 million square miles. And of course, all of that land there, the 24 million square miles, is land that is excellently adapted to horticulture. So even if it's just pasture land with a thin layer of grass on the top and then an inch or two of soil followed by rocks, you can plant trees on it, and you can put that to use as horticulture. I guess some of that is marshland as well. I wasn't able to figure out how much in marshland we've got. Okay. How to Garden said we could reform the Western U.S. Yeah, we really could. Just going in and intentionally planting. Can never be equitable unless you base it on personal improvement and increase. Oh, the shed worst thing. Yeah. How big is our garden? Never big enough. Well, as much as you can manage by yourself, I imagine. But shoot, in all actuality, I think I would like to have at least one other person help me with a third of an acre. So 6 people per acre required to tend it. How to Garden says would only take a generation. Well, I don't know. I mean, we could get it started within a generation. Get that generation of people brought up in a culture that understands the importance of what it is that we're attempting to accomplish. And then the question is, how many people can we actually support with that? 24 million square miles at a rate of, was it 640 acres per square mile, and 12 people per acre on the low side to support with horticulture. It's well beyond 100 billion people this planet can support just by changing the way we approach how we go about growing our food. I know, right? That's an insane number of people. It's easily 10 times the maximum projection that they have. The world's overpopulated. We're all going to die. Oh, no. No, we can support a lot more people on this planet. Of course, one of the major problems that we have is how do we get the food transplanted? How do we get it harvested? And the easiest way to do that is radical decentralization. Get people out of the cities. Why are you in the city? You can't produce anything there. What are you going to do? Give each other haircuts for the rest of your lives? No, it doesn't make any sense. First kill the TV, then liberate the mind. Yeah, there you go. TV rots your brain. It absolutely rots your brain. Oh, the things that we have been taught, things that the children of this generation are being taught to believe that are simply not true, boggles the mind. I had a whole bunch of other commands that we were supposed to be able to give to Nightbot, and you could enter them in. You could put in carbon for a command, and he would tell you what carbon is and what carbon does. Very fun. It's called programming for a reason. Garo is saying, we need to grow local, like in the backyard. In the backyard, up and down the bike paths, in the parks, wherever you can grow. And the more of it there is, the better. Until such time comes that you don't have to worry about where the next meal is coming from because it is covered. All right. Let me have a look. I don't see why our commands are not functioning properly. Let me see here. So you could put in commands like carbon, and Nightbot would tell you that carbon is the most fundamental building block of all life on planet Earth. The cycling of carbon from one organism to another is what supports life as we know it. See also desertification. Desertification, if you enter in that query, it says a localized geological event where the carbon cycle is either severely impeded or arrested entirely, resulting in soil erosion, drought, and loss of life. So once we have Nightbot responding properly, we'll be able to, if you have a question about a term or need a definition for something, you can enter it in chat, and Nightbot will give you the response. Hopefully, we'll get that working by next week. We'll see. Freehandling Maid says, Hebby and I get Z outside to help with the ranch work. It's good for him. Yeah. And the other side, I appreciate nature gardening and where our food source is coming from. Absolutely. Cosmic Cultivator says, we turned our cable box off from months ago. Best decision of our lives. I still have cable, but I don't have a television. I just have the internet. John Conrad Farms, not just not all about. That's just too long, John. I'm not gonna be able to say that. Sean says we have a TV for movies, but moved it to the spare room and replaced the space with a wood stove. Hey, there you go. And you can sit there and watch the wood stove if you like. Snap, crackle, and pop. If it has a little glass in the front, you can watch the fire. It's very hypnotic. Just like TV, it's just moving lights, right? You sit there and go, drill, drill. All right. Just use the web, says Crying Shane. Nice, nice. All right, guys. So, how big is your garden? And if you're like me, do you consider that area outside of the property that you're personally responsible for tending, maybe some of that you might consider like a community garden? Just a thought. Just a thought. I'm suggesting we consider the rest of the planet to be like a community garden. So if you happen to see something going on in that garden that doesn't look quite right to you and requires correction, well, that's what these are for. So you go and you take care of it. That's the idea. So let's see here. I promised you guys some mail opening and a little sneak preview of my video that I've got coming up here on Friday. Let me go ahead and get some materials out for you guys to look at. I've got a mortar and pestle right here. I've got, what could this be? Digital scales right here. Okay. Wait. I have some sugar. And what in the world could be in this little tub right here? What is this? See, you guys actually get the good stuff because you're here on the live stream. If you're waiting for the video to come out here on Friday, you won't get to see this part because I didn't do this on that video. So about a year ago, I took a great big old 55-gallon plastic drum with holes at the bottom, filled it all the way to the top with wood chips, and then began soaking it with urea for a little while after that. About 20 gallons of urea altogether, and then waited for a full year after having kept that moist and soaked and controlled as best as I could for the wood chips to break down and turn into nice black dirt. It's not completely and totally converted yet. Mufflers. Oh, yeah. Nobody uses mufflers around here. Oh, all righty. Hang on a second. Before we get back to comments. Okay, so we waited a full year for everything to break down, which is making a source of nitrified earth. If you didn't have wood chips, you could always use fallen leaves, dead leaves. You could use shredded newspaper, anything you want to. Altogether, an adult human produces about 1 liter of fluids a day, which is a source of urea. The urea content of that fluid in the waste stream equates to about 3 3/4 kilograms of nitrate. once it's all said and done. If you can find a way to capture that and use it, that's fertilizer for your garden. That's a lot of fertilizer for your garden. It's probably more than you actually would use for personal vegetable growing. And so a couple of days ago, I commenced leaching the nitrate out of that 55-gallon drum. And no, I didn't leach all of it. I just wanted to leach a small portion so I could demonstrate that there was indeed nitrate in that dirt that I made. 25 gallons is what we got after it had broken down for a full year. And after a bit of work, which you'll be able to see the full video of on Friday morning, we got these, which are, of course, nitrate crystals. Yeah, I got most of the salt out of it. They're still a little bit dingy and gray, but if I was going to get them pure pharmaceutical grade, that would probably take me on into July. Before I show you the nifty little science experiment that we're going to do today, let me check up on the chat and see how everybody is doing. John Conrad Farms. That's much better. Yeah, people will remember that. The other title is just too long. Hi, Kitty. Hi, how you doing? Why do you have to come out whenever I'm out here talking? What's the deal? Huh? What's the deal? You are just like your niece. You know that? I don't know that these two cats are actually related. We've got the indoor kitty and the outdoor kitty, but they look an awful lot like each other. All right. Free Handling Mate says, I just found our little town has a community garden. Ah, nice. Right. Okay. Fire Pit was Neanderthal's first television. Yeah, there you go. Sassfest Red says 3/4 of an acre plus all the parks and byways. Yeah, you got the right idea right there. See, it's not just the part that you call my property. It's all of it. It's all a garden. Once you learn how to see it. Now you may have trained yourself not to be able to see it, but it is all a garden. And if it's a tended garden, then it's a productive garden. Or at least it's productive and useful to us. The thing that makes it productive and useful for us is whether we tend it or not. Okay. Katie is saying, building the foundation of tomorrow's garden, planting a garden, express your faith in your future. I agree. Yeah. Whenever you go out and you start putting roots in the ground, seeds in the soil, you're making a contract, I guess, with the future, with the land itself, saying, here, I will take care of you. You'll take care of me. That's the way I think of it anyway. I don't know. Oh, yes. Alchemy. We're going to do some alchemy, guys. Okay. Gerwin says, my garden partial express my concerns for the future and society. The more uncertain, the more I plant. Well, I mean, because you're fearful of the future. I mean, that is a motivator, and it'll get people to plant. But how about excited and hopeful for a better future? Think about that one for a minute. And that was incidentally whenever Nightbot put the little exclamation mark problems. That was supposed to be a timer to trigger a statement. He was supposed to say on timer that the only difference between problems and opportunities is choice, and you control whether you choose to see problems or whether you choose to see opportunities. All right. Lots of snakes. Yeah. Okay. Let me see here. How to Garden loves his wood chips. Kitty, be careful around my cords, please. Zone 3 season is short. Wow, that is pretty short. Microgreens. Yep. Well, that'll give you something that you can eat during the winter. Chinese style greenhouses. That sounds cool. Relying solely on grocery stores is like flying on an airplane. Putting all your hopes on someone you don't know, an entire system that not only do you not control, but we already know is incapable of feeding all of us. Katie grew up building bomb shelters. Oh, do tell. Yeah, I'm kind of curious too about what's different about Chinese greenhouses. Thorhaven Farm has a passive solar greenhouse. Hi, Kitty. Hello. Hello. Just started using it in the spring. Already extended the season by a month or two. That's nice. Around here, I have to build them with solid polycarbonate or glass sheeting. If I just try that poly wrap around the outside, it'll get shredded by the hail. It won't survive, unfortunately. Sassafras Red says the abandoned rail lines in the area I'm working at has an incredible amount of mulberry trees. Nice, full of fruit. Leave that cord alone, kitty. Do not touch the cord. Zachary Vinegar. That's where I never let produce managers pilot my aircraft. Produce managers. Oh. Oof. Alrighty. So, on to the experiment. Speaking of aircraft. Yeah, see, Nightbot has issues. He's not doing the thing he's supposed to. I'm going to have to watch the videos and tinker with it a little bit, I guess. Has anyone created a bushcraft greenhouse? No. Never. All right. So, when I was a kid, I was into model rocketry. You never would have guessed, would you? All right. And it's true. I was the president of our school's model rocketry club. Lasted for a full year. And then everybody got bored with it and ran off to do other things. But we had a lot of fun. And after hours, we had the most fun because the kids that were not directly being supervised by the school would occasionally engage in such fun activities that our parents would never approve of if they knew, like repacking model rocket engines, which is just a big no-no. Kids, do not do this. It's not safe. Really, it's not safe. I had one motor explode in my face once. And of course, the recipe for repacking the model rocket engines, which I'm going to tell you about because it is perfectly legal to make. It's not legal to transport. The recipe for making the propellant for a model rocket engine is 13 to 7 potassium nitrate to fuel. And the fuel could be usually something like sugar. Sucralose is really popular these days. This is just cane sugar, so it'll work. 13 to 1 is close enough to 2 to 1, so I'm going to mix it up at 2 to 1. We're just going to do that really quick by turning on our scale here. There we go. All right. And we're going to tear that. Oh, you can't see what I'm doing. Well, that's not fair, is it? Let's move some stuff around then. All right. Okay. You can see scale. You can't see the readout, but you're just going to have to trust me on this. All right, so I've got our nitrate crystals, kind of dingy and gray. 2 grams of them all together, but I'm not going to use all 2 grams. Just sprinkle some on here. You got 0.4 grams. For 8, 0.5, 0.52. Okay, that's close. So we got half a gram of potassium nitrate crystals here. Little tiny, mostly white, but a little bit dingy. And we have a mortar and pestle, which is currently empty. So I'm just going to go ahead and put that down in there. All right, there we go. Now we wanted a 2 to 1 oxidizer to fuel. So if we had half a gram of oxidizer, we'll need a 1/4 gram of fuel, which is just sugar. Really? Okay. Well, that didn't take much. All right. So we've got sugar for fuel, and we've got our oxidizer in there. Of course, it's got some impurities in it, so it's not going to burn really great, but it'll work. And we put all that in our mortar, like so. All right, now all you got to do is grind it all up. How fun. No, I did not run out and get the mortar and pestle just for today's project. I've had it for a while. Um, all right. All right. So Sean's saying if you look up Chinese greenhouse, it'll explain it better than I can in text. All right. So all we are doing right now is demonstrating that we did indeed manage to get nitrate out of those big barrels. Yay. Yep, I just scratched my nose. Deal with it. I have ground everything up into a nice fine powder. Ooh, we're a little bit humid today. I hope that humidity does not affect our success. All right. So we ground everything up into a nice fine powder. We're going to dump a little bit of that right there on that empty Krabby's ginger ale tin. All right, so this is, of course, called R candy or rocket candy. It's simple propellant for model rocket enthusiasts. Perfectly legal to make, but if you pack a motor with it, not legal to transport. In order to launch, you do need to have an FAA waiver to actually launch a rocket using this propellant. Presumably, there are some challenges or competitions trying to get a sugar rocket to reach suborbital altitudes. I bet that would be interesting. All right. So the question is, if I take a flame and touch it to that, will it ignite? Will it burn? Will it look cool? We'll find out. So the idea is your propellant goes up and comes out of the vent tube at the bottom of your rocket. This provides the necessary thrust that makes your little model rocket go whoosh up in the air. The only problem with a repack motor is, of course, you don't have the ability to deploy the chute at the end of the cycle, so you just have to let your rocket free fall, unless, of course, you're using that as a booster for your rocket, or you figure out a way to pack the charge that will deploy your chute at the end of it. We were never quite that inventive. As a matter of fact, we failed more than succeeded making rocket candy. We never did melt it down the way you're supposed to. If you melt it, then the sugar will melt, but the nitrate won't, and it will become suspended in the sugar, and that provides you with a solid model rocket propellant. But there we go. That's how that works. So we were actually able to get nitrate from that barrel in the backyard. Yay! All right, now you guys got to see it first. You missed what? What did you miss? Oh, wood stove in a greenhouse? Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure what a bushcraft greenhouse is. Usually, when I think of bushcraft, I think of walk into the woods and use whatever materials you find in nature to make your whatever. And if you're going to build a bushcraft greenhouse, wouldn't you have to first find a way to gather up your sand and get your silicon dioxide separated from all the impurities, and then blow or cast window panes for your greenhouse, and do some other things? It seems like an awful lot of work. All right. Oh, no, I'm not a huge rocket scientist. I just used to dabble when I was a kid. All right. Let's see. Sasspress Wrestling. I think the Chinese greenhouse used insulated blankets for insulation under the plastic film. I'm going to have to look this stuff up, guys. All right. What do you say we take a look at some of these packages and see what we got? I have no idea what Mary ordered. Hello, Chris's Clever Craft. I don't know if Mary is on right now. She might be taking a nap. This is... I think she got a selfie stick. That's definitely for her. She's been trying to improve the quality of her videos. So getting a selfie stick and getting a little bit of altitude has been part of it. She got a drone, but she doesn't know how to operate it. I think it's because she got one of the cheap ones. All right, what's in here? What is that? Some kind of a dog leash, I think. This is all Mary stuff. Nothing exciting. Come on, Mary. You get us anything exciting? Okay. Oh. This is what happens whenever your wife will not go to the store, but instead gets on Amazon and shops with her thumbs. Oh, nothing exciting in here either. Let's see. We got some gallon freezer bags. Actually, I do use these whenever I pack up plants. If I was packing up daylilies or walking onions or anything like that, I put them in these. So I will use these. We got, oh, look at that. Got a bunch of tea lights. I'm not sure what for, but we have them. I'm not going to build that little heater with the tea lights. That's been debunked. Don't see any reason to go over that again. All right, so we've got something here from Nature's Harvest. It's called A Whole Lot of Goodness. What is this? Nature's Harvest mushroom ice drinks. What? I have no idea. I'm almost afraid to ask. Okay. So this is Shroom Magic Mix. Ooh. Okay. 5 incredible mushrooms. Which 5 mushrooms? That's the question. From the package, one of them is turkey tail. Probably cordyceps also. All right, let's see here. Ingredients. Organic turmeric, 23% turmeric. Yep, cordyceps. Extracts of cordyceps. Extracts of chaga. They put an asterisk next to it that says wild crafted. The joke is, and it's not really a joke, you can't get chaga except from getting it off of the tree growing in the wild. And unfortunately, people are over-harvesting it for, it's medicine, it'll be good for you. And they're depleting the amount of it that's out there in the wild for people that really do happen to need chaga mushrooms. It's kind of like, prescribing antibiotics. Don't prescribe them unless somebody actually needs them. Chaga is powerful medicine. But it takes it a long time to grow, and it can only grow in an old-growth forest. And if you're just running out there pulling off chaga mushrooms, grinding them up, and putting them out in somebody's beverage drink that they sip because they're feeling trendy today, then you're wasting it. All right. Okay, I'm going to get down off my soapbox here. We got organic lion's mane extract. Okay. Reishi extract, turkey tail extract. Okay, and it's got some nutmeg, cinnamon, clove, ginger, vanilla, cardamom, black pepper. Okay. Sounds like it'd be nice, but I don't see why you got to have the chaga in there. If you're trying to beat cancer, this might be good. Not that I'm prescribing this for people who are cancer patients, but anecdotally, it's good. What else we got in here? We got turmeric coffee. Actually, this tastes just like regular coffee. You can't even taste the turmeric in there. Okay. Seasoning salt. Ooh, turmeric matcha. So we've got matcha green tea with turmeric in it. Brian's pulling ticks off as we speak. How to Garden says, gotta go. See you next time. Let's see what else we got. Oh, Mary got more yogurts. Not going to taste those. We know what they're like. And then we've got, fiber supplement and other assorted things like that. Well, that's just not incredibly exciting, guys. I'm sorry. All right. Quarter after 8. Is it getting dark out there? It looks like we're still in color. That's good. I was a bit concerned because previously we've been doing these sessions starting at 8, and then by the time we finish up at 9, it was dark out. So hopefully, going half an hour earlier, we'll have enough light. So we got maybe 15 minutes. 15 minutes to go. Hallie Garden says, got a premiere tomorrow at 4:30 Eastern Time and would like to invite me and everyone to come. That sounds great. Let's see. All right, Nightbot is trying to do his stuff on timer. That is supposed to be an alias that's supposed to have him tell us how to get to the web store, but it's not working. I know. It's very sad. Apparently, I've got some more work to do. I just don't know why the commands aren't working. So let's go to How to Garden. Oh, I see. I'm going to have to find it in here. Hang on. Do you ever wish sometimes that the channels that you follow on YouTube would be alphabetized whenever you go click on it, instead of just jumbled in with no apparent rhyme or reason? Oh my goodness, how many channels are there in here? I've got a lot. And apparently we've got some extra that I haven't subscribed to. Mary, whenever she's home, she'll use my computer and subscribe to things. So now I've got more I've got more channels that I've subscribed to than I'm familiar with. So if anybody happens to have How to Garden's channel that could put their channel link up there, that would be really good. Otherwise, I'm going to be scrolling through these all night trying to find the link. Okay, Garwin says, you know what Nightbot's issue is? You need to remove alias from timers. Only use them on custom commands. Okay, yeah, but whenever I try to put in the command by itself, I don't have any response. For example, if I do problems, like that, Nightbot should come back and talk to us, but I'm not seeing it happen. Unless there's something I'm supposed to do to turn commands on. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. Okay. It says, well, that's weird. It says the commands have been issued. That's interesting. It says the commands have been issued, but it is not. It's not showing it. See, I got 1,000 problems. Nightbot ain't one of them. My video is done. I fed the mosquitoes. Hey, I care. Oh, nice. Okay. All right. It's confused because we have both the alias on timer. Okay. So let me look at a command that is not there. And we'll try the command to earth. This should be, any user could use it. Okay. That. So Nightbot should be responding to that command, right? And outputting. I just don't know why it's not. Okay, it's saying it's received 14 commands so far. I just don't know why it's not functioning. Brian can feel ticks on his skin. That's a skill, is it? Okay. I guess it's better than what time is it in Central Time? Mary is wondering. It is almost 8:30 Central Time. We launched at 7:30, so we wouldn't be in black and white by the end of the session. And the Cardinals are going nuts out there. Yep. 8:23. Yeah, I didn't know, Mary. I didn't start early. I started at 7:30. I moved it up to 7:30 from 8 because by the time we got to 9 o'clock, or at least we have been, all the picture winds up being black and white because it gets dark out there, and we don't have a good light for here. But yep. We have two male cardinals that are having an argument with each other, and none of the girls are around at the moment. And somebody snuck up here. That's a little black-capped chickadee. Oh, there's the girl. I see her. She's on the ground over there picking up odds and ends. I need to feed them. I need to get some more food and feed her by tomorrow. See, one of the good night, Suzanne Stack. One of the commands I wanted Nightbot to use on Alias periodically, we could either have it on timer. I guess we'll have to break them up and separate them up as timers and commands, and then figure out why the commands aren't working or why they're not working. I did mention it, Mary. Why the timers and commands aren't working, probably. But one of them was one where if I set up a bird cam periodically on timer, he would come out and say, "Would you like to feed the birds?" And he basically sit there and bow and scrape and beg for a super chat for bird feed. That was one of them. Mary just got the dog parked and the truck walked. No, hang on, back up, put that the other way. You got the truck parked and the dog walked. Okay, Mary, you got some stuff that just arrived. There's a selfie stick, and it looks like some kind of an expanding dog leash sort of thing here. That's for you. And of course, we've got the pantry stuff with the freezer bags for me, and some other assorted things. All right. It is 11:27 a.m. in Queensland, Australia. So it's this morning for you. It's tomorrow morning over there. How is tomorrow, by the way? Is it any good? Should we just turn around and go back to bed right now and not bother getting up? You have to let us know. Let us know. All right. So who's on now that missed the science experiment? Quick show of hands. Who missed the science experiment earlier? I can run the science experiment again if you like. I don't mind. All right, so I've got a digital scale here. Ooh, exciting. There we go. So we're going to take the digital scale. We're going to put it down here in front of you. Not that you can read it anyway, but just to make things fun. All right, we're measuring grams. All right, so in this little Tupperware container here, not Tupperware, what am I saying? In this plastic container that I got from the dollar store for $1, I have a little bit less now than 2 grams of potassium nitrate crystals that we made from scratch in the backyard. Video coming out Friday, and you can watch it. So anyway, we're going to find out if they really are potassium nitrate, and the way we're going to find out is by mixing this oxidizer, potassium nitrate, with a fuel, sugar, and seeing if we can get it to react properly. Now we're going to mix. I'm going to mix the same amount up that I made last time. I'm going to put in about 0.5 gram of the nitrate crystals. So we're at 3. A little bit over 0.4. 0.44. For 7. All right, that's about 0.5 gram. I know, exciting stuff, right? We're going to watch a guy measure out basic chemicals and do a little chemistry experiment. All right, this is a mortar and pestle. Excellent for grinding things up like these. Okay. Put our tray back down on the scale. And it looks pretty good. Now the basic recipe is sugar at about half the amount as your oxidizer. So I need about 1/4 gram of sugar. And that's it. Sugar is actually pretty heavy, isn't it? So that's it. That's sugar. It's not much sugar, but that's what we got. You can do 50-50 too. If you're making model rocket motors from scratch, not entirely safe and not recommended. Kids, get your parents' supervision. But we did it a lot when I was a kid. If you're making your model rocket motors from scratch, then it's 13 to 7, 13 parts oxidizer to 7 parts fuel. Okay. Worst you've ever seen for ticks. I started encountering ticks this spring early before it was really warm out, but only one of them got to bite me. Tell us about the Groundhog Chronicles. Yes. I've got another episode coming up where I talk about the thing that may have actually got them to go away. Create synergistic transformation, heavy or density. I'm measuring by mass. All measurements by mass, not by volume. Sassafras red used to get smoked out when you visit Carbondale. I'll bet. Oh, that's funny. Okay. Different kind of smoked out. All right. So now we're going to try to get everything sticking to the inside. It's very humid out here, guys. To do this experiment with the boys is part of homeschooling, but since you live in Australia, you're going to have a hard time getting hold of the nitrate. Well, you could always just make your own. It is possible. Probably illegal in Australia, though. I won't tell. Just don't take a video of it. And what they know or what they don't know can't hurt you. There we go. All right, so really quick here, let me get my ashes out of my reaction vessel. Just an aluminum can. I'll get the ashes out from the last time we did this, and then we'll take the ground up powder that we've got, hopefully thoroughly mixed, and put it in there. So we have a little bit of this powder here, which tonight's humidity, Lord only knows what it's going to wind up doing. And if we do in fact have nitrate, after all of that work that we did, and from the taste, I can tell you that's nitrate, then when I touch a flame to this, we should get smoke and a little action. So here we go. Kitty, don't stand too close. Here we go. Well, barely got started, didn't it? There we go. Might require a little bit more refinement to make it proper for any sort of propellant or fuel, but the plants don't mind, and the plants won't care. Unfortunately, at least fortunately for me, all I have to do is just shovel out that nitrified earth that I created over the course of the year as fertilizer, side dressing for my plants, and they'll eat it up. The plants know what to do with it. All right. Yeah. Yeah, I believe Canada and Australia, you can't legally manufacture nitrate. They frown on that sort of thing. Unless, of course, you're involved in Australia's legalized arms trade and you work for the government, in which case you probably make as many nasty things as you want, as long as they're being exported, around the world. All right. The Best Life says we used saltpeter and sugar when I was a kid. That's what we just use. Saltpeter and sugar. All right, so that's that. I only extracted a tiny little bit of it because I don't need potassium nitrate crystals for my gardening efforts. I'm just going to dilute that back and use it as liquid fertilizer and run around and fertilize a few things more, and then we'll be done with it. Oh, all right. I am just sweating tons, buckets over here, guys. What did we talk about? We talked about how much garden we have that we're personally responsible for. We talked a little bit about personal responsibility and how important it is to have a functioning human civilization, that we all learn how to be personally responsible. This is something that's been lacking. Along with personal responsibility, I'm going to harken back to last week when we talked about the one law, which is one may not harm another without their consent. And this being the basic foundation for a civil society. If you can't agree on this one basic tenet, this one basic law, then we really can't have a civil society. And a lot of the problems that we've been having around the world lately is there are people that don't abide by that one basic tenet of law, and unfortunately a lot of them are in charge at the moment. So there's that. Of course, never go and attack the people who wear uniforms and are in charge. It's a bad idea. They're people, and most of them think that they're doing the right thing, and you attacking them is not going to make them change their minds. So instead, try to help them see that maybe taking people's property away from them against their will, with the threat of violent force being used against them if they don't comply, is maybe a bad thing. If they can agree to that, then maybe they consider a different line of work. Who knows? In any case, we need to think about these things because one way or another, every civilization comes to an end. And if it's upon us to come and build the next one after this one falls apart on us, then maybe we don't want to make the same mistakes that we've made previously. That's all I'm saying. Okay. Biden's snitch brigade may get you. No, don't go attacking Biden. Don't go attacking any of them. There's no point to it. Not to mention, they'll just use violent force against you and you'll look like an idiot. Can we raise the black flag yet? No, I'm suggesting that we raise no flag at all. Absolutely none. Because remember what the first law is. Cannot harm another without their consent. The person who initiates violence is easy to tell that's the bad guy, right? So don't be the person who initiates violence, and hopefully other individuals around will understand the simplicity and the value of having a civil society, and they'll want to join a civil society. And then we can have a civil society, which unfortunately we haven't been able to enjoy in recent years. Obviously, by spreading the concept of gardening and expanding what we think of when we think of a garden can go a long way towards reaching a nice civil society. So whenever you go out there in the world today and you leave your quarter acre, third acre, half acre, or however big a plot of garden you're personally responsible for, I'd like for you to go forward with your eyes open, looking at the world around you as a potential garden, or as the garden that it already is, that is only requiring us to step in and take our own personal responsibility and tend that garden to make it productive. And that's it. Hey, we're at past 8:30. We've been on for over an hour now. Tend your garden, let others tend theirs. And remember, we do share a part of that garden out there. So try to think about how you would like people behaving in your garden, and then whenever you go out there into that garden that we all share, behave in that fashion, and we should get along just fine. That's all I've got for you tonight, good people. As always, you know what to do. If you found the video informative or entertaining, I will catch you next time.